Hi, I am Bhumi, your life, career and relationship coach, and today we are going to discuss a topic that is extremely important to all of us, which is priorities. Before we get into the topic, I wanted to let you know that I haven't been able to do videos for the last couple of weeks because, as you know or may know, that this is my passion project. But I have started new employment, and so it has taken me by surprise the amount of time you spend in a full-time job. Often, especially in the early days, it literally can sort of swamp you. So that's been the delay. If you see me looking here, that's because I've got some notes and I want to make sure I stick to the topic and make this a really short and simple video. And if you do hear my dog in the background, he is doing really well. He's my rescue dog. He's been with us for a month now. But he can get a bit needy every now and again, so do pardon me if I get distracted. I'll do my best not to. So today's topic, the reason I picked it is because in the last couple of weeks, again, with starting new employment, it has been extremely difficult for me to sort of do these videos, and I absolutely love doing them. And then you always get a little bit of guilt creeping in. So I wanted to talk about this topic because throughout my 20s, I've been one of those people who has consistently worked and, done so many projects at any given time. So even if I'm working full-time or I was sort of doing full-time education, I would have so many projects on the go that I used to get so tired and not really see the fruits of my labor. I wasn't able to actually see what I'd achieved, whereas people from my friends, family would easily see how much I had achieved by the age of 27, 28. But I myself was blind to it and exhausted by the end of it because I just worked all the time. I did so much at the same time. And I was once told by a friend, it seems that I'm running at 100 miles an hour. And that was just me. And now, as I've taken a step back and I observe other people, I think we're all to a degree running at 100 miles an hour because there is a lot of pressure, whether it's at work or whether it's in life, at home, to basically have a lot of things going on, especially with social media. There is a lot of facade out there that people are trying to compete with, knowingly or unknowingly. So, for example, at work you would notice that some people work well into the evenings and sometimes even on the weekends, and that is extremely unhealthy for you. So it doesn't actually make you very happy. So I would recommend not to fall into that trap. And if you are one of those people who works outside of your working hours, you need to reassess your life and you need to really think hard in terms of why you're doing that. I know it is ingrained in our DNA that hard work makes us succeed, but that is not really true. Hard work actually doesn't make us very productive. It is researched that when an individual is given certain amounts of hours of work, they are very productive. As soon as you tip over that balance of hours, you actually become unproductive. So you might want to look into that and definitely scale back your evenings and weekends if you're not meant to be working and they're not your natural working hours. So before we jump in any further, if you are new to my channel, please subscribe. I do them on a weekly basis. Mostly, I have slacked the last couple of weeks, but there is a good reason for that. And if you are already subscribed, then thank you very much. It makes it very exciting to be doing these videos for you. So, jumping back straight into it. From a priority perspective, I'm not going to edit that because you can see literally how frazzled the brain gets when you've got so much going on. And I'm doing this video in my lunch hour. So it gives you an idea of how when you overwork your brain, you're bound to make mistakes that you normally wouldn't, right? So I'm going to keep that in because that is precisely the point of this video. So jumping into the topic, in my opinion, let me define priorities. In my opinion, priorities are two things. One, if it immediately impacts on the quality of your life and relationship, then it is important. It is a priority. And two, if it long-term impacts on the quality of your life and relationships, then it is a priority today. I do not worry about anything that would not affect me in the next 12 months, 2 years, 3 years. But if there is something that I did today that would affect me in 5 years' time, then that would become my focus. That would be a priority for me. So that's how I really define priority. I really simplify it so it helps me sort of put tasks into the categories of either or, right? Is it immediately of impact, or is it long-term of impact? If it is not, then it is not a priority for me. And if it is something that is not a priority and that needs to be done, it will get done, but in its own time, right? So that's the whole difference between prioritizing your tasks in your life overall. So how I would advise you to look at this is literally in 3 steps. Step 1 is to ask yourself if anyone will be in immediate disadvantage in any way if you didn't get something done. If the answer to that question is yes, then it is a priority. Whether it's today or tomorrow, it is a priority to be done. If the answer to that question is no, then you need to really look at the task and see if it is something that can be done next week or next month, right? So that is how you immediately prioritize at work or at home. However, what can happen often, especially at work, is that you may feel that some things are a priority, but if they are not immediately impacting somebody, you have to note, you have to bear in mind that it is not a priority, and work will always be there and it can be done tomorrow, right? The same with house chores as well. I often see some people getting extremely sort of rigid about, an OCD almost, about when and what time the housework and how much house chores are to be done in a day. I do not follow that rule at all, because I want to follow what makes me happy, what makes me feel healthy. If I've had a long day at work, then I would much rather put my feet up in the evening and order a takeaway. I would not cook. So it's things like those. How do you take care of yourself? Because at the end of the day, you will be more productive and better able to deal with your priorities if you are happy and healthy, if you're taking care of yourself. Step 2. If everything is a priority in your diary and you feel guilty for not getting to those tasks, especially if something isn't done, then revert back to step 1. Step 1 is ask yourself, is anyone at an immediate disadvantage or harm if the task is not complete, right? So again, step 2 is literally reassess. You cannot have more than a handful of priorities a day at work and in your personal life. So if you're consistently being battered by tasks at home or at work, and you're constantly feeling guilty for not having done something, and this really happens with parents quite a lot because they haven't been able to spend as much time with their child. I noticed that actually in the recent weeks, where I didn't feel I was spending enough time with my dog, and then I researched to actually find out you're only meant to spend about up to 2 hours with your dog, and I was spending about 6 hours. So then I had to scale that back and really check with myself to understand why I felt that way, and I had to check my own self-belief. So if you are consistently battling with priorities and are not able to sort of bring that healthy balance, then you need to check your self-beliefs, and you need to really, really dig deep to see why is it that you're not being healthy and happy about it. And step 3, the last step, is to always stay focused. Once you even know what your priorities are, it is very easy to get derailed or distracted. It happens a lot, and it happens to all of us. So always, as soon as you recognize that you've been derailed or distracted, try and come back into your focus point. If you are aware, you can work on it. And there is absolutely nothing wrong in getting derailed. I still do it. I get distracted every now and again. But as soon as I recognize that I've been distracted, and instead of doing something that I was meant to do for the past 10-15 minutes, I've been doing something else, I will bring myself back, put that thing on the back burner, and refocus myself, right? So step 1, find out if it is really necessary to be done. Step 2, reassess and go back to step 1. And step 3 is just stay focused and keep bringing yourself back in every time you feel that you're unfocused. So I hope that these really help you sort of regain focus and prioritize your work in life. If you like the video, then please feel free to share it, especially if you think that it may be useful to someone else. As I said, this is my passion project, and I want us to reach as many people as possible and needed to help where we can. I hope this helps, and until next time, stay safe. Take care.